Hi, Charles SirBookSage here. This is a quick live stream test. This is not my normal content. I've been playing around in Restream and OBS Studio, and I just kind of wanted to just go live and just see if the things I've been playing around with actually work. And hopefully you can hear this. Okay. Let me like my own stream. And let me mute that. Okay. Sorry, I was distracting myself. I just wanted to make sure my audio was actually coming through. Okay, so this is what I've got. A couple of weeks ago, I did a live stream test testing out Restream for the first time. And I actually quite liked it. And I'm actually using Restream here, sort of. What I did this past weekend was finally decide to make the move from Streamlabs desktop over to OBS Studio proper. Something I've been meaning to do for quite a long time. So I downloaded it, installed it, and then spent the weekend going through a whole bunch of instructional live stream, instructional YouTube videos. Michael Fire Jr., Nutty in particular, a whole bunch of nutty stuff, plus a bunch of others. And I just kind of built a sort of rudimentary little setup here. So what I'm doing is, this is OBS Studio going to Restream, and then Restream is sending it to YouTube. So it is, let me just pull this up here. It is using the, what is it, the RMTP, is that RTMP feed. Now, there are pluses and minuses doing it this way. And I'll start off with a couple of minuses. One of the attractive features for something like StreamYard, Restream, EVMux, and others is the ability to highlight an individual comment in the live chat up on screen. Because people like to see their chat like being on display. It's a nice interactive feature. The RTMP feed, or whatever, that chat functionality isn't there in Restream. You can only do that in Restream when you're streaming from their platform. The RTMP, whatever it is just passing through the stream coming from OBS. So you can't highlight in the chat window that's inside that encoder in Restream. However, that limitation, you can do a workaround in OBS Studio with the Social Ninja, this chat browser extension. It works with Chromium browsers, so Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge. And it's a little bit of an extra step. You have to set it up, connect your account, and then when you go live, remember to go to your YouTube live stream itself and pop out the chat. So I am going to, now I'm curious to see if this is how this is going to work, if it's going to work. Because I popped out the chat and I now added it as a docked browser setting inside OBS. But the chat's also here now that I've gone live. So are they connected? So I might have to pop the live chat out again. Nope, it sees it. So you should see the highlighted chat coming up, hopefully, in just a moment. I'm just waiting on YouTube's delay to catch up. Man, YouTube is far behind. There it is. So this process, a little extra work, and again, you have to remember to pop out your live chat for it to talk to the Social Ninja extension, for it to load in the docked window in OBS, and then for you to be able to display it. The second biggest drawback is if you are someone who has guests on. You know, StreamYard, EVMux, Restream, they have bringing on guests is easy, and they have these sort of layouts already there that you can have two people side by side, one large, one smaller. You can move them around easy. You can move them to the side and display stuff. None of that is in OBS. But you can build all that out yourself if that's something you enjoy doing or are inclined to do. You can build all those sort of visual layouts, visual themes for guests. It's a lot of work, but once you build it, that you have all those templates and they're always there. But that's a bit of an undertaking. So that's probably the biggest drawback of doing this, is that is just a built-in streamlined functionality in those cloud-based streaming things. Now, if you're someone who likes absolute total control and is a control freak, I'm not, but if you are someone who wants that meticulous control, you can lay out those guest windows and everything however you want. You can build any kind of crazy layout or theme, or whatever you like to do, you can do it in OBS. So if you like that stuff, you have that option. But now a couple of the pluses. If you notice, no watermark up in the corner, even though I'm using the free version of Restream. And no watermark, and this is a 1080p stream. Even though, and the reason for those is Restream is just picking up the feed from OBS and basically just handing it off to YouTube. So you're not streaming from Restream's own web-based service. It's just a pass-through, like a funnel passing through. So it's going to just pass through whatever feed it's getting. And the watermark is applied in Restream itself in their cloud-based thing, not in the RTMP or whatever the initials are. So that's a plus. So if you're someone who's just live streams by yourself and you don't have the money to pay for the higher platform to get 1080p streaming, you can just connect OBS Studio and just use Restream as a pass-through, and you get this. And let's see. Trying to think of what else. I set up a few alerts that they'll go off someday. Just playing around with stuff that I might like have more in the future. But this is really kind of just playing around with this sort of setup that I did. And I have this. Okay, now hopefully when that be right back thing was up with the text bouncing, you didn't hear any audio, because that's a scene that has no microphones or anything attached to it. So it just cuts all mics off. Same for the intro and outro. They're in a place where there should be no mics either. And you know, it's funny, the amount of work that just goes into initially laying this out and setting it up is not really seeing what you're seeing, because you're just seeing a simple little layout. But it's fun. This just reminds me of a long time ago, playing around in ProDOS on the old Apple IIc system. And also playing around, I used to create a lot of Microsoft Access databases, like, I don't know, 25, 30 years ago. This simple layout, no bells and whistles, just the full camera. This is one that turns itself. I gotta change how those are set up. This is pretty much emulating the older live stream setup I had when I was using Streamlabs. I just rebuilt that initially in here, and then it's like, well, might as well just build something new. So, and that's what this is. And in here, I have the option, if I want, to just go to a simple color background or come on, go to this sort of Tolkien books background. I just have to get used to where all these things are in here. Turn that little thing on and off. Just the camera on and off. Oh, and for those who like tech stuff, this is Godot's Magic XT1 little wireless microphone system. I got it on Amazon Prime sale like a couple weeks ago. They had it on sale for $87, so I grabbed it. So I think it's like $130 normally. So just trying to try this out, because one of the things I really didn't like live streaming was with the Blue Yeti Pro, I'm like stuck up at that microphone. And if I'm live streaming, and sometimes when I do live stream, or when I'm talking about like Rings of Power or Wheel of Time or something, some of those live streams can get pretty long. I think there's one or two of each that are maybe like 3 hours long. So I want to be able to sit back and move around and just have audio where I'm not like chained to a big microphone that's stuck in one spot. So, and I think the only other thing I'm going to test here, because why not, is some of these Stream Element things. Just want to see, and these are just emulations, not real, but I just want to see what this looks like on the live stream. Oops. And I can hear the ding already, so now it's just waiting on the delay to see how long it takes to pop up. Any day now. Man, like YouTube is way behind. I gotta look into those settings to see why it's such a long delay. Okay. There it goes. Just little things like that. That's, I think, more Twitch stuff, and I don't stream on Twitch. But I've just been playing around with just some of that interactive functionality just for the fun of it. So might as well learn how to do that kind of stuff, even if I won't be particularly using it all that much. You never know when it'll come in handy. So I think that probably is about all I need to test out here. Now, I popped out the YouTube live chat and I docked it inside the OBS Studio. However, that's just a kind of read-only version of the chat. The actual popped out chat, the chat itself where I could like reply, is in YouTube's window. And I don't think, yeah, so that's something I'll have to figure out. I might just have to make the OBS Studio smaller. All right, I'm going to test something here. I'm going to test to see. I should probably move this over here. Okay, this. Can I shrink this? Man, that does not need, well, no, that doesn't work. I need to see the chat. I need another monitor, is what I actually need. Either that, all right, so let's see if I'm going to break the functionality. Let me pop out the chat again and put it down here. Don't cut off cam link. All right. Popped out the YouTube chat for the second time to test if it still talks to Social Ninja extension. And back to OBS Studio. And it does. Cool. All right, so I could probably just drop that docked YouTube chat since I can't actually type in it. It's kind of or yeah, I ain't got time for that right now. All right, sorry. I am just testing this out. If this is enough real estate. And I probably should have played around with this layout before I went live, but oh well. All right. Okay. And I think this will work. Let me take that off. And how did that turn back on again? See, that I've got to figure out. Something is... I'm hitting something that keeps turning on this older, starting soon. And I haven't quite figured out what that is yet. Haven't figured that out yet. Okay, anyway, if you just happen to be popping in, I am testing out OBS Studio to Restream and Restream to YouTube. And this is not my normal content, but I have just been kind of working on setting something more updated up so that I can actually get back to doing some live streams. I like doing live streams. I used to be on a regular weekly Friday night live stream 12 years ago, maybe, somewhere around there. I don't know if it was that long, but it's been a while. It was a craft beer thing every Friday night, and a whole group live stream. We used to use Google Hangouts and stuff like that. So I do want to get back to where I have on this channel like a regular weekly live stream, separate from the sit down, record, edit, post kind of stuff. And this video here is probably going to end up getting, I might just end up unlisting this or putting it to private afterwards. Because again, this is not the content I do on this channel, and I don't need people looking for OBS stuff to bombard, not that anyone's going to see this, but YouTube gets weird when it starts picking up people who don't watch your stuff and who aren't your audience. So I don't want it the algorithm is wonky enough without messing with it. But anyway, this is generally pretty cool. It's a little bit of extra bells and whistles. Because, again, that's another one of the benefits of something like a Restream, StreamYard, EVMux. You just open it up and you click go, and you go. It's real easy and real simple. There's a lot of more production elements to doing it this way. But I like that stuff. So it's just a matter of getting used to where things are now in OBS, as opposed to just not really having much of anything to touch in the online, the cloud-based ones. And this is a little odd as well, just because I have a field monitor that I just recently bought that's up on top of my computer so that I can actually see myself properly. Because I've been with this little tiny mirror that slides into the cold shoe just to have the back screen flipped up so it can kind of bounce off of this and come at you. So I can basically, am I even on? So now I have a proper monitor. This is off to the side, but it's a much larger screen, and like the screen's a bit larger than my cell phone. No, I don't want Bixby. So I have to get out of the habit of looking at the field monitor instead of looking at the lens. And now I've got the OBS window up here. So now I've got basically two larger monitors distracting me from looking down the lens of the camera, which is what you're supposed to do. But there's YouTubers who never really look at the lens. They're always doing stuff. But, this is where I'm supposed to be looking. And I immediately look away. So I am out of practice doing live streams, but again, I do like playing around with this stuff. And this is one thing I like about OBS Studio over the Streamlabs desktop. This little bit of bar down the bottom, dropped frames, your kilobytes, how long you've been live streaming, and your CPU usage. So, because I'm on a laptop that's not meant for live streaming and editing and all that stuff. It's just a really simple, like, you'd buy it to kind of like use Microsoft Office. So that's probably, honestly, a 2026 goal, is to replace this and get a proper, modern, up-to-date system. So I think I've pretty much ran through the little things that I wanted to test with this setup here. About the only other thing would be, now which is which? That's the one I want, not that one. Okay, I apparently had the chat popped out twice. I closed the other one, so I'm going to do another test chat to make sure that it's still talking to the Social Ninja extension. Yet one more test of the chat into Social Ninja in OBS. And yes, and it displays, which you'll see in like 20 seconds. probably easier if I just minimize that. Okay, let me take that off. Is that still not showing up? Or is it? Oh, let me wait a minute. I might have done something where my live stream feed was like behind, which would explain why there's such a delay. So let's do this one more time. Let's pop up the chat, and now I'm going to see how long it takes. See if it's any faster. Which I won't know until I actually watch this back later, because I don't have a timer. But I think it's a little faster. Okay, this is the cumbersome part. Getting this and this back up. And I think it's because wait a minute. Okay. I just have to minimize that instead of alt-tabbing. Okay, anyway, I think that pretty much covers the things that I wanted to just test out here. Oh, and might as well, there's this little guy. Haven't done anything with it, but it's just another sort of scene I'm setting up. So for maybe if I want to share something on my desktop or a browser or a video or whatever, I'll kind of have this little, the beginnings of another sort of scene that I'm creating. Man, this is way behind. Weird. Okay, I'm waiting for YouTube to catch up to this screen that I have here in OBS, that I'm now just going to put back to my regular one. There it is. Okay, I think that's enough. Okay, I think we're good here. So my Stream Elements stuff worked when I did that test. The Social Ninja little chat worked. Lets me display comments. And with that, I am going to pop on the still old but new-ish thanks for watching, and call it a night. And then I'm going to play this back either tonight or tomorrow morning and kind of go through and see what it looks and sounds like. If anyone's popped into this, or if you happen to be watching this on the replay, appreciate your time. If you use OBS Studio into Restream or anything like that, or just OBS Studio in general, let me know what you think about it and what tips you might have, because I'm going to be playing around with this for a while. Okay, I'm going to call it a night.